Hello, I'm Jeanette. I am the designer behind Zanete Knits and welcome to another one of my pattern deep dives. This time it's on a top-down half-brioche beanie called the Caprice Beanie. In this video I'll talk about the inspiration, the yarn and needles and the gauge, sizes that are available for this pattern, techniques used and the construction, as well as how you can customize this beanie to make it truly yours. The reason for me making this beanie was that I had promised to knit a gift for a certain gentleman in my extended family. I know that they are quite trendy, but I wasn't too sure about what colors they liked, and I know it was going to be a surprise. So there wasn't so much information, and I decided to go with a currently trending design, but of course I added a bit of originality to it as well, and I'll go in the details. I wasn't sure how long I should make it, which was the main reason for it being top down, and I chose the half brioche stitch because it produces two distinct looks depending on whether you wear the wrong or the right side, which gives you a fully reversible two-in-one kind of beanie. This design is perfect for a leftover yarn. I used a strand of fingering with a strand of suri alpaca, and that suri adds this really amazing softness to it that feels great when it touches your face. So no one can complain about itching, but if you like a bit of itching, by all means go with a rustic wool. It's supposed to improve the blood flow and is a healthier option. But for those who are not used to wearing hand knits close to their neck and face, perhaps easing them into it with a bit of suri alpaca is a good idea. Of course, I had to make two versions, one for the intended recipient and one for myself to write up the pattern. Initially I wasn't going to write the pattern, but we asked our followers online and there was a resounding yes for a desire to get their hands on a top-down half brioche hat. So as I said, I used a strand of fingering weight with a strand of suri alpaca. So the pattern is suitable for a DK weight yarn or a combination of many lace weights to get that. The gauge is 18 stitches times 44 rows in half brioche in the round. And that is when it's unstretched. So you might not have seen that many stitch patterns that have so many rows in 10 centimeters, but brioche or half brioche is one of those because there's a lot of slipping of a stitch happening, which makes it all shrink a bit, but I wouldn't worry. The row gauge here is not important in the slightest because it's worked top down and you can adjust the length very easily. And I would just focus on getting the stitch gauge. I had to use needles of the size 2.75 millimeters, that is US 2, and I love magic loop, so I used 60 centimeter circular needles, but obviously just the needle cable length or the needle size to your preferences and to get the right gauge. Now the sizing. This pattern comes in 6 sizes for various head circumferences and approximately, emphasis on approximately, I would still check out the measurement table that comes in the schematic that's available for you before you purchase the pattern. So approximately it would be for a baby, for a toddler, for an older child, a small adult, medium adult, and a large adult sizes. It is designed as a hat to be worn with some negative ease so that it fits snugly around the head and doesn't fall off. It's around 12% negative ease for this hat. So the finished head circumference is from 31 centimeters for the baby size and up to 53.5 centimeters for the largest size. That is 12.5 inches to 21 1/4 inches. Techniques used and construction. So for this pattern, I've done a very deep tips and techniques video separately that takes you through all the sections and what to watch out for in each. I will link to that video down below in the description. But just quickly to summarize, we start at the top with Judy's Magic Cast On that produces a circular cast on, and we can start working in the round right away. And we start with a section of increases to get to the required circumference for the head, and then we just work straight down to the desired length. And really the pattern is based on this version of the hat, this length, but you could also completely omit this part that is folded if you didn't want to fold, or if you could knit it even shorter if you want the top to fit snugly to your head as well. And what is unique about this hat is that the increases are placed differently on the front than on the back. Here on the front, I'm actually wearing it inside out because I prefer the wrong side of the half brioche stitch to be here, and then the fold shows the right side. But when you're knitting, you will be viewing it this way. So this is the front of the hat. You can see the increases here are coming out of these central columns, whereas at the back of the hat, the increases are coming out of the sides, and there is no central line. So that is also allows you to vary the looks by some days wearing the back of the hat at the front and some days wearing the front of the hat, and then even more you can some days wear the wrong side, right side out, and some days on the wrong side out. And yeah, so where was I? We placed markers for the increases, and we go through the brioche increase and how to work brioche. So if you are a beginner in brioche, this would be a great beginner pattern, because we're only learning one type of increase and a couple of very, very basic brioche stitches, and it's in one color, so it doesn't get too complicated. And it's much easier than it looks. Another thing to note is that at the start the increases are a bit faster in cadence, and then they slow down to make this shape, and the instructions specify how many and when to switch for each size. And then when we get to the straight section, it's all smooth sailing. And finally, depending on how you want to wear it, I also talk about a special kind of bind off that I've used that you've done on the right side, but you want it to look good on the wrong side. If you wear it folded, then it's called a grandma's favorite bind off, and in the techniques and tips video we go through demos of all of these techniques. On the customizations, I've already touched upon pretty much everything. I said it's fully reversible, provided you weave in your ends as invisibly as possible, and there is a different hat at the front and the back, and you can use DK weight yarn or a combination of finer weights, and you can make it stripy or you can make it plain. If you're well versed in a two-color brioche, I am not sure it would work to be a two-color brioche, because it's not actually brioche, it is half brioche. So you only do the brioche slipping on one of the rounds. That is something that I'll have to check out in another pattern. And yeah, that is it for the Caprice Beanie. It officially launches on the 17th of April. and will be available for download on Ravelry, as well as our website. Links are down below. If you're watching this before then, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter because you will get a special discount code in your mailbox on the release date. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.